This is Kaylin Wells reporting to you from Channel 5 News. Recently, there have been many speculations about the Ebola crisis in the United States. A woman was allegedly sentenced to quarantine for 21 days after returning from a trip to Africa. Here in a few moments, we'll be speaking to the woman herself. We'll see you after the break.
Are you tired of not having a big enough basket for your Tupperware? Do you often do this when you're looking for something? Introducing the laundry basket, a basket finally big enough to hold all your Tupperware containers.
Hi, Casey. Could you tell me just a little bit about your trip in Africa?
For having me, Kaylin. I was in Sierra Leone, Africa, treating Ebola patients. I never contracted Ebola myself. However, many people in the United States did not care about that fact.
And so, what exactly was it like in Sierra Leone? Would you say that this epidemic is as serious as the U.S. is making it out to be?
Only about 20% of people checked in Sierra Leone turn out to have Ebola. However, treating the ones who do have it is quite the work. You have to be careful about everything.
I see. And what exactly do you mean by careful? Because I know that people all around the United States are very concerned that precautions aren't being taken. So, what is being done to prevent the spread of Ebola?
Suits are worn, and it is stressed that if possible, no one is to come into contact with any body fluids of the patient.
So, what you're telling me is that you don't believe there's any way you could have actually contracted the disease while you were in Sierra Leone?
I don't believe there was any way possible that I could have contracted Ebola while I was in Africa.
So you must have been absolutely shocked when you returned home to find that you were being quarantined for 21 days. What exactly were your first few days like?
Days back at home were restless. I was in Africa for so long, it felt great to be back home, but I didn't get to do anything that I wanted to do. All I wanted to do was shop, hang out with friends, see my family, but I wasn't allowed to do that by the state of Maine.
And where did you stay during this quarantine?
I stayed at my boyfriend's house in town for a little bit after I got back home.
Wow, it's a bit surprising to me that your boyfriend would be willing to let you stay with him. Was he not concerned about the possibility of you contracting Ebola?
He knew I didn't have it, and I tested negative for it twice. He was really understanding about the whole situation. He supported me the whole time when I was in Sierra Leone.
So outside of this house, there was a state trooper. How exactly did you feel about that? I mean, I'm sure that you felt like that was kind of an invasion of your privacy.
To be quite honest, Kaylin, I thought it was very inconsiderate of the state to place the state trooper outside of my house. I didn't really think it was necessary, considering I didn't even have the disease.
So let's go back to the tent for a moment. There's a certain image floating around the internet of you inside of this tent. I believe it's called a selfie tent. Could you just tell me a little bit about that? I mean, what made you decide to capture that moment, to capture a picture of yourself when you were in such poor conditions? So, as far as your quarantine goes, rumor has it you haven't exactly been abiding by your rules. I've been hearing things about you ordering pizzas, going on bike rides through town. How are the townspeople reacting to that? So, what's your opinion about the whole situation? Do you really think that it's being blown out of proportion, or do you think that they're taking appropriate measures to prevent the spread of disease?
Yes, Kaylin, I believe it was blown completely out of proportion. Yes, I was treating Ebola patients in Africa, but I never came into contact with any bodily fluids, which means I could have never even contracted the disease. I tested negative for it twice, which only proves that further. So I think that keeping me in the tent was as far as it should have gone, but keeping me inside my house for 21 days, that just seems a little crazy to me and a little bit too much.
That's all I have. Do you want to smell like your house?
Yeah!
Introducing new Febreze Body Splash.
It smells so good!
Woo! Yeah!
The Ebola epidemic parallels to the Salem witch trials in that it caused panic among the people. In both situations, extensive measures were taken that may be considered unjust. However, the people of the U.S. and Puritan society, as well as modern society, were simply trying to protect themselves.
You can't laugh! It's so selfie!
Hey guys, I'm holding the spotlight.